Hey everyone, it's your boy Doc Williams, and today we're going to be talking about multi-streaming. What do you need to know for your own business? How do you get started? We're going to be talking about all of those things today, and we have an expert in this space to help us with. As we get into this, remember if you're watching this live, make sure in the comment section you're writing hashtag live, and if you're watching this on replay, hashtag replay. So, first of all, let's introduce our guests. Who do we have on the program today?
I am Dustin Paul Innovator. I am a prolific content creator, and one thing that I've been really passionate about recently is the meta of content creation. And what I'm seeing a lot of is this multi-streaming. Obviously, like Restream.io, tools like that have been around for a hot minute, but that's been only one type of multi-streaming. That was just horizontal multi-streaming. But now with the rise of TikTok and Instagram, there's even YouTube Shorts live streams. Hi, Willow. And being able to vertical and horizontal multi-stream at the same time is kind of what we're talking about today.
Awesome. Love it. So we're going to be talking about all of these things. If you would like to know more about this, I'm going to be dropping a link in the chat that's going to show you more about what multi-stream is, all of those things, and how to get started. And again, as you're watching this today live, you can also follow along, and we're going to have different time stamps and everything as we go through this. So you're going to be seeing a link about why you need to multi-stream horizontally and vertically. This is Dustin's site as well, which is wonderful. Make sure that you check it out. And we're going to be going into this. So as we get started, man, what should we know? Should we know anything before we start looking at the tech? Or should we go right into the tech stack? What would you like?
I think we should just talk about it just real quick, just so people can understand. If you're starting off as a live streamer, it might be wise to play with one platform, go on Twitch, go live a couple times, get used to the feeling of being live. Because setting up multi-streaming is both simple and complicated at the same time because there's multiple things going on at once. And so you want to make sure you have an understanding of what live streaming is. But I think that any new live streamers, and I'm starting my gaming channel, for example, I want to start live streaming on there. I figured if I'm going to start streaming, I might as well stream to all these different platforms. I have no loyalty to Twitch over YouTube or anything like that. If you're a Twitch partner, then you're kind of blocked. But otherwise, you should be multi-streaming so that way you don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Love it. Also, too, I would say along with that, I agree with all of those things. A lot of times people might feel overwhelmed if you're going to multi-stream, if you don't have all of your accounts set up before you go into the platform. So it only takes a couple minutes, but just keep some of your bandwidth because it will take you a couple minutes to be like, okay, I need to have a streamline of all my profile pictures, or I need, all of these things to be successful. Look at this.
Mike right here.
Yeah, Mike's talking about, okay, so meta, horizontal, vertical, blah, blah, blah. Can you give us an actual solution? I love it.
I can start off with two solutions, and I'll just go into those real quick because we're going to probably show both of them today. So the idea, maybe we'll be talking about the multiverse. Yeah. Well, we're going to definitely give you a walkthrough here in a moment, but the idea of multi-streaming is hard because you have to be able to split the stream into multiple different ways. And so there's two tools that can do it. Restream.io only does horizontal, so you kind of lose out on that vertical. Streamlabs, which is a pretty common alternative to OBS, is a great way to do multi-streaming, but it also splits it for you. So just like Restream.io, you send it one or two streams, and it'll split it between the different platforms for you. However, it does cost $20 a month. The other alternative is Atom, which is a OBS plugin. They have a few different plugins you want to use. Atom has this plugin for vertical canvas, allowing you to make vertical videos and vertical streaming, but they also just released a multi-stream plugin. So those two plugins in conjunction allow you to split your stream to multiple different places.
Yeah, I love it. Great explanation, great tech stack, so we'll talk about it. I'm going to drop the chat. I'm going to drop in the chat a couple different links, but also, Dustin, if I miss any of them, please make sure that you help me out and we'll drop some stuff. I'm going to be dropping some that have my affiliate link. If you like this stream and this is helpful, consider using it if you like this. But what I would say is, if I am getting started and I am very, very overwhelmed, and I'm like, hey, I need horizontal and vertical, I might just choose personally like horizontal and as soon as possible a simple one. For me, I use Streamlab. I'm using StreamYard right now because it took the least amount of time and
Mhm.
it's the least complicated. Doesn't mean it has all the fancy features, but a lot of the things that I need, I can do very, very quickly. So StreamYard is one of them. I'm going to show you what it looks like in a moment, but I'm in the broadcast studio right now, so the homepage you won't see. But as you can see right here, I can decide to live stream, do recordings on-air webinars. I click live stream. I click, do I want to use pre-recorded video or studio? I can pick all of my different profiles and then either go live immediately or decide to schedule it. So this allows me to move a lot quicker. I can have LinkedIn, I can have all my YouTube channels and Twitch. We're on multiple channels right now. I could add Twitter as well, or X, but I currently don't want to pay for Twitter, so they now took that away for free users. I might do it in the future because I use Twitter quite a bit, but that's what we've got. And also too, like Dustin was talking about, we have Restream as well.
Just to point out though, these two tools, StreamYard and Restream, and even like things like Riverside, all of them only really do one aspect ratio. So you can stream to many different destinations, but they only do the horizontal ratio for the most part. And so you kind of lose out on that vertical platform, which is still kind of the meta right now. So like streaming to YouTube Shorts is still pretty new. I'm not seeing really anybody besides gamers do it currently, but I could definitely see like right now on on StreamYard, you're above me, I'm below you. This is a perfect format for a TikTok or like a vertical stream right there. And we don't have that going currently. So we could probably work on that the next time.
We're going to have to do that, man. We're going to have to do that. I see in the chat, Lloyd mentions, is Restream good for monetization?
So what do
yeah,
you think
go
about
ahead.
that?
Yeah. I have a couple ideas or a couple things I would say on that. And as I do that, I'm going to be bringing up, we'll talk about multi-stream for what is it, Streamlab?
Streamlabs.
And then how do I say the other one? How do
Atom.
Atom. Okay. And we'll drop this into the chat right here. The one thing, and let me know what you think, man. But is Restream good for monetization? I would first say, tell me more about that. Because
Yeah.
to me, monetization, I think about a couple things. Am I talking about like monetizing the stream with ads, or am I talking about monetization if I'm selling a product or service? Because if I'm going with monetization based on the platform, there are different requirements for
Mhm.
monetization based on which platform that you're streaming to. But Dustin, what are you thinking?
So I remember hearing someone recently talk about that, and they were like talking about how they get money more from Twitch, so they didn't want to multi-stream because they didn't want to lose out on the Twitch money. But unless you're like a really big Twitch streamer, a big partner for them, you're not going to be getting hardly any money from that when it comes to like ads. And so even Kick was talking about this, the platform. They said on a tweet or LinkedIn post, and they were saying like, "Hey, you might as well be multi-streaming to Kick too." And I know Rumble has been saying the same stuff as well when it comes to just having yourself spread out. So like I said at the beginning, don't put all your eggs in one basket. When you have yourself spread out like that, you have multiple chances to go viral on those chat platforms. Twitch has no discoverability. If you just post to just Twitch or just Twitch and YouTube, you're only limiting yourself to those two platforms, and you're kind of at their becking whims. And so by splitting off into 8 different platforms, you get to have way more opportunity and way more chances to be seen, which gives you more chances to have ad revenue. Not
Yeah.
to mention, too, if you are selling a product, that could be a big deal, too.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true. I think about I gotta find his name, but basically he's probably one of the biggest like kick streamers, and relatively it's still pretty low numbers with his
Mhm.
followers, but based on the monetization split, it works better for him. But also he was talking about sometimes one platform might be more saturated in the niche that you tried to live stream. So it allows you to kind of get in front of a new audience, be the first in the parade, those kind of things. And if you're multi-streaming, just like how Dustin was talking about, there's no downside, really. I mean, your
Yeah.
audiences, you won't see it, especially if you're live streaming on LinkedIn. Relatively, LinkedIn live streaming is so rare. Um, I get such more longevity on those live streams than anything else. And you might be saying, but wait a minute, Doc, shouldn't you be live streaming right now on LinkedIn? Yeah, probably. I should have been doing that.
Come
And
on,
I
Doc.
and I said
Lacking.
that I'm adding that right now. So just now, as we were talking about that, now we're live streaming on LinkedIn. And so now we can have a full conversation of a business audience learning how to multi-stream into a more professional audience, right?
Mhm.
And so the people on LinkedIn usually don't see me if I'm on my YouTube channel or on Twitch. So hopefully that helps. And we'll get into all of the different aspects as we look at multi-streaming and all those things. Again, no matter what platform you're on right now, make sure that you, in the comment section, let us know questions. And we'll kind of go into this a little bit more. And we'll add more links as well. So we have a
So,
couple questions. Oh, can I go with the
yeah,
questions real quick?
I was gonna do Mike's question real quick. I have an answer for him right there, but I guess let's go for Mickey.
Let's go with Mike real quick. So the question
Just
is
sent you
this.
a link.
Yeah. Does StreamYard support iPhone multicam streaming through Final Cut Camera? So can I have a basic setup with an iPhone and an iPad and stream with two angles, switching back and forth? Looking for a simple setup. So that's a great question. And then also too, what's the answer you got for him?
I think the Mevo app by Logitech might help a little bit. I don't know for sure, but considering it's much more usable on iOS, it might be helpful for him because he talked about having multiple different angles, and so you can use your phones as different sources too. I'm not sure if you have to have an actual Mevo camera to use the app or not, but that might
That
be
might
helpful for
be.
multiple
Yeah, I
angles.
like that. And thank you for that. I would probably say I can look at the documentation for StreamYard. I don't see it being a problem actually. Having now you can actually come in mobile, so you could use it as one angle, have it as a guest spot. So as you're looking at this right here, we have two different angles, right? We have we have Dustin's camera because he's remote. I'm at my house, right? So we have two different ones. If you brought in your camera as a guest, you could always switch back and forth having that angle. The
Mhm.
only thing is making sure, of course, you mute the person and everything like that. And you would have to do the other thing is you might have to change just briefly. You can orient where you're putting the two different angles. So it depends if
Mm.
you're doing like a stream, like a cooking stream, right? Or you're demoing. So you might have one camera facing you, and then you might have an overhead camera looking down at your keyboard or something like that, or off to the side. That would probably be a way that you could do it. Um,
Same
Again,
for Riverside too, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, great questions. Okay, so Mickey 420's got a couple back to back, and then we'll go into setting this bad boy up and everything like that. So we have right here is let's see, it's all about your platform and size of the channel, or do you mean like live tips like OBS can? So I think this is the monetization aspect. I could be wrong with this, but I would say, am I reading that correctly, Dustin? You think he's asking? Yeah. So if I'm thinking about monetization, um, I would just look at it this way, right? Again, depending on the platform, even tips are going to be used in different ways. You might have to unlock tips based on what platform you're on. So make sure you look at what platform you would like. But I would always say this, I'm always a fan of, even if I don't have the monetization option onto my channel for whatever reasons, I don't qualify, all of those things, you can always have tips enabled if you do something like buy me a coffee or Ko-Fi,
Hmm.
right? So I could always have that in the chat and just have it, hey, if you really like this, make sure that you like and support us. And there's a link down below for you to support us, right? And there you go. So then you don't have to worry about, where am I right there? Yeah, what were you going to think, Dustin?
Well, I would say just at a personal preference, Ko-Fi has been a lot easier to use than Buy Me a Coffee, even though they're both pretty simple. There's also FanList, which is a new one that came out relatively recently. And the way I kind of also see live streaming too is it's more of a point of entry to your content ecosystem rather than a monetization strategy. So unless you're like really big, don't really think about monetization as a streamer. Think about how you can get more people into your community. So live streaming is this intimate thing. We're able to answer questions with people talking here because we're here in the moment talking with you all. It's not necessarily for the money aspect right away, but you can also start going through and using affiliate links or using Ko-Fi. You can get the money that way. But focus on building a community, and then they can go and take courses or books from us later on.
Yeah, exactly right. And also too, I mean, and you go on that route. Also, the resource to me, there are certain how-to guides or how-to live streams, and that's why I love YouTube. That because it's a search engine, those are some of my biggest videos, and because of that, I have very low barrier to entry products. So it's samples or guides or something, and I continually make money off of that almost daily, where it's just guides that are $7, right? And so you could do the, if you're looking for a high ticket item from live streaming, I don't think it translates very well. If it's either a free community where you're getting them from a social media platform into your community, you're nurturing them, and then you're making the ask after all this value, I can see. So it depends on the content that you're putting out too when you're live streaming, I believe as well.
You're right there, Doc.
We've got a couple questions. Again, we're going in. Thank you so much for all these questions, but we'll go with a couple more. Mickey was talking about my small 60K channel with an average of 5K views only pulls about 200 a month. Okay, so again, this depends on, your audience, what you're providing, all of those things. But I really think it depends on the entertainment aspect versus education. And if you're doing a live stream educating them, and then you're having another component where you're going deeper on the subject, you might be able to make more. Again, depends. The other thing is if you're going into a product that you can sell, depends on terms of service, what kind of product, all those things on stream. But then if it correlates directly with what you're talking about, and you're doing streams multiple times a week and you're going deep diving, now that's a whole other issue that you could now see if you can make money. And I would say one other thing too. If you're in an industry and you can work with other brands, I wouldn't necessarily focus on the brand deal where they're paying you so much per stream, but I might exchange, hey, I'm doing a whole live stream about your product or service. You have a list of 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 on your email list. Could you let your audience know when I go live? Then I'm getting in front of a whole new set of people. It's basically free advertisement, and you get tens of thousands of people to know about you. They could watch the live stream, or I point them to my free resource guide. So I'm grabbing all the people from their audience, and now they're coming onto my list. That's just something I'm thinking about. Okay, I'll shut up. What do you think about that, Dustin? Is that all right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, let's do this. So let us know in the chat if that makes sense, and let's get into what platforms we're going to use. And if you want to share your screen, we'll go from there.
I'll start off with it. So let's talk about, let me see, I have to choose the right screen here. Let's talk about the two platforms there are. So first and foremost, although I think you gotta stop sharing.
Yeah. Add to stage. I got you, man.
Cool. So there are two options. There is the ADA multi-stream here, which you can go onto this website. We'll explain it in a moment. There's also Streamlabs. And so Streamlabs is the one that you'll probably show or something like that. But essentially, all you got to do is go onto the ADA website, which we shared the link earlier. Scroll down. There's two plugins you want to get. You get the vertical plugin and the multi-stream plugin. Click download, and it'll take you to this page here. And I already have it downloaded here, so let me open up OBS. And so right now it's blank because the camera is being used on StreamYard. However, can you remove the comment real quick so you can see a little bit more of the screen?
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
You're good. Sorry,
Hold
Nikki.
on, man. I got too excited. Let me move that over there.
So I already have some of the base set up on here. There's plenty of videos to show you how to open up OBS, but I just wanted to show you
Oh,
what it
one
looks
last
like.
thing. Are
Yeah.
you using OBS Studio? So the audience, if they're just getting started,
Yeah.
OBS Studios. I'm going to drop that in the chat. Okay, keep going.
Yes. This is one of the most well-known live streaming recording software. In fact, I mainly have used it just for recording over the years, just because it allows me to have plenty of options for whatever I'm doing. And so I already have it set up here with my microphone and camera. Again, it's blank because I'm using it in StreamYard. However, I wanted to show you what the blank version looks like. And so when I install the other two apps, you can see the difference. So first and foremost, let's install the vertical plugin. And I'll move this over. So it's just doing basic installation process. So we'll kind of go through there. Easy peasy. And then we're going to install the multi-stream plugin. Now this one's still a little bit more complicated. You have to do the multiple platforms, and then we're going to open up OBS. I actually just recently needed to reinstall OBS, so this is all blank for the most part. And once again, the camera is blank because of the StreamYard, but now we have a vertical canvas over here, which is really nice. And this vertical canvas allows us to make vertical video, and so you can actually set it up to where I have no sources here. You can set it up to where you have your camera over on this side. So if I stop my camera over here, maybe I can get it to show up here.
Okay. As you're doing this, talk us through this.
Yeah, it's not really quite working. I think I need. I wish I had my second camera set up too. That would have been helpful.
No worries.
But you add in another source. So you have your horizontal scenes in source over here, which is this side. But now you have a new side over here. And so you have the first scene. I need to add my camera. So you want to add your. I already have it added there. So you just have to add it there. Or you can click new and do a different device.
If real quick, we'll make this real basic. If this seems overwhelming, you talk about the pans at the bottom, just the orientation of what you're looking at.
Yes. So essentially, OBS has a lot of stuff here, but it's pretty simple. All you got to worry about are your scenes, are your different, basically what you're going to be seeing. And within those scenes, you can have two different things going on. So on this scene here, I have a display capture, which is capturing the second screen. So essentially, display capture is just whatever screen you have. You can also do program capture. So if I just wanted to capture Chrome over here, I could do that. Or you could do your camera, which is what I have here. And that's what I'm setting up down here. So on this side, even though it is black, it allows me to control a separate video frame for vertical. And then we can go into some of the settings for this. So on the streaming side of things.
1 second. And also, Dustin, I see that Mickey's saying you need a degree in OBS. And let me tell you, when I first started using it, I was really overwhelmed because there were so many options. So we'll either do resources to show you how to use it. And again, that's why we're showing multiple ways today, so you can decide what works best for you. But also, too, just like Dustin was saying, and that's why when I'm talking about like the orientation, when I get into a new program and I feel overwhelmed, I just need to know the basics. Where are the basic things that I need? Because I start freaking out when I see all of these different options. We'll show you a couple videos, or we'll create a couple like really for the complete beginner, because it can be overwhelming. So we'll go from there. Yeah,
I'll explain a little bit more. So OBS looks very complicated, and it is to some degree when you get into like the settings. But what you're seeing here on the main screen isn't too bad once you know what you're kind of doing. And I'll even tell you some stuff here too. Let me share my screen again. And essentially, this right here, I never had to pay attention to. I only ever use this to start streaming or recording. So you can even ignore these two right here. This is only useful really for the most part when you're starting out to know if your microphone is working. So at some points, I've had situations where my mic wasn't connected or it was on mute. So like that. And so I was talking through the video and it wasn't there. So making sure you pay attention to this voice line here to make sure it's actually on. So really all of this right here you can ignore, besides to start streaming, start recording. Now, there is a separate button right here for the vertical for streaming, but they're all right here. And then on this side, the scenes and sources. Can you move our cameras real quick so people can see the second half? I forgot our cameras were covering that.
No
Okay.
worries.
So right here is what I was mentioning earlier. Just going to re-explain this. So you have your horizontal side right here. So before, when I opened up OBS, it was only this right here. And that was for the normal 16:9 aspect ratio. When I installed the vertical plugin, it added these two, which are the scenes, which you can actually link these together. And then here's the sources. So the same camera is for both. And then I can make another source. You do have to remake them, but you only make them once, and then you have to worry about it again. And then I also wanted to show you when you install the multi-stream plugin, you do have to kind of bring it out. So you click here, and it opens it back up. Where did it go? So I should have it somewhere. This is hard to do while live streaming, ironically.
Oh yeah.
So
No
where
big
did
deal.
it go? Show me.
This is what happens. This is why we do it live for people to see. Hey, you're figuring out you have to see these things real quick.
Mm-hmm. Let's just do the website. We don't need that. I don't know where the doc went. Source. That's so weird. Where did it go? It's supposed to be here.
You have multiple. You have multiple displays going right now.
Yes, but it shouldn't be. Oh, no, you're right. So let's just pop it right here. Thank you. So essentially, it brings up another little box, and then you can start adding different sources such as Twitch and YouTube. And I'll try to go ahead and go through one of those for you. Canvas, main outputs, add output. So essentially, all you got to do is you click on the settings down here. You add the output, and then you choose whichever output you want to do. Click on that. And then when you're on YouTube, I don't know if you want to show this part or not, but you get your stream key from your live stream, and you add it into here.
We will do a more in-depth or point to it. No need to show those things right now.
Yeah.
But all sounds good.
You just rinse and repeat for each of the different platforms. And if you notice here, Rumble is not on here, for example. Instagram is not on here. So you just click the other service, and you just basically call it whatever you want. And that's how you do the platforms that aren't officially on the list. But the one cool thing is too about Streamlabs, what we should get to, is that with TikTok, it's kind of a weird area right now. That's another thing that compares these two tools, is that with TikTok, you kind of, unless you have a stream key already, you can't live stream to them through OBS. Not really. However, with Streamlabs, they have a partnership with TikTok, and so you can add TikTok as an output. So that's another reason why you might end up using Streamlabs over Atom. But Atom is free, so there's that option. So it's kind of a balance, depending on what you need, depending on the setup you already have.
All right, awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Are you saying you guys operating with one monitor and many tabs? Second monitor, exactly right. Yeah, I can't live that lifestyle anymore with just one. I'll go.
I tried 3, but it was too much.
See, now you're doing too much. You see 3? What are you doing?
Well, Doc, and my main one is an ultra wide too. So not only was I had 3, but I had like one in the middle that was huge.
What did you do? Was one just for comments? What were you doing with the third? That's ridiculous.
Well, you can even rotate and do vertical, which is kind of nice too.
Stop. Okay, so let's
TIE fighter mode.
Yeah, my goodness. In the chat, please let us know. That makes sense. And again, this is why we're talking about, if you're just getting started and you already feel overwhelmed and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't even feel that I can do it. That's why we're always like, hey, look at ones that are very, very simple, that allow you to move quicker, such as if we're talking about Restream or StreamYard.
Or Streamlabs is a lot more simpler too. That's the other thing. Like Streamlabs is a little bit more made for people that are like not so comfortable with it. I think OBS is a good option because it may be more complicated at first, but it's literally just the setup. Using it is pretty simple. It's just the setup is a little bit more complicated. Well, and it's free.
Which one's free? OBS? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, OBS is free. Even the plugins that we mentioned are free. And so that's the big deal.
Yeah, and again, if you're on a budget, or if you feel like you want to be part of a community that's building an open source and things like that, something to consider. If you want to have a little bit easier time, which we're going to be showing in just a moment, you might want to look at Streamlabs. Also, too, I always try to bring this up, and I try to be conscious of this. I try to avoid saying as much as possible to the audience, like, this will be easy, because me and Dustin and a few others in the audience, we've been streaming for a long time, right? So whenever you stream for a long time, you forget the pains of what it's
Mm.
like when you're getting first started. So take a deep breath, pick a platform that, as we're looking at these different ones, what speaks to you, what feels right, where do you want to begin, and then just start. Don't be overwhelmed and be like, well, if I can't stream to TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn at the same time, well, I'm not doing it. Start, because if anything, the most important thing is you getting in the rhythm of streaming and
Yeah.
getting used to putting out content. And if you've seen this channel before, and Dustin knows this, I had a lot of problems with procrastination and putting out videos. Live streaming, if you live stream, and this is another benefit of multi-streaming, and we'll talk about it, but if you stream in general, you can always clip those things later and create other content off of them. So I really, really stress that live streaming, like, get used to it and then just go, because it will change your business forever.
There,
Yeah.
there is a couple things I want to say off of that. That's why at the beginning I said just do Twitch or something like, or YouTube. Just do one platform just so you get used to live streaming in the first place. I think that when you are a new streamer, my opinion is you should multi-stream. However, I understand that not everyone feels comfortable doing that right away, which is why we're making this video telling you the two options, like Streamlabs and OBS are really the only two options when it comes to streaming, multi-streaming horizontally and vertically at the same time. But if you want to just do horizontal, then you can add in Restream and StreamYard and Riverside. And one thing I forgot to mention too, with the Atom plugin, yes, it's free. However, you are limited more so on your internet bandwidth. So if you don't have like fiber, you may not be able to add as many channels as you would like, because every stream is being managed on your computer, meaning, to keep it simple, your computer has to be powerful enough to handle all the all the different screens that you're sending out, and you have to have enough internet to do it as well. Whereas the alternative, Streamlabs, it's like Restream, where it splits it for you. So you only have to send two streams, the vertical and horizontal, and then it'll split it for you. But again, it's $20 a month with the Streamlabs Ultra. So it's kind of that balance there. Do you have a powerful enough computer and you can handle OBS's complexity at first? Or do you want to just use something that's makes it more simple, but it costs money? That's kind of your options there.
There we go. Mikey 420 also mentions also be on a schedule to make sure that you really can stay on track and really do this with live stream. Agree, totally, 100%. I'd say pick your favorite day of the week. Pick a day that you can be consistent on, not just something that you have like 10,000 other things going on. But we definitely agree. That's why I always stream on Wednesday. Wednesday is my favorite day of the week. It's kind of a good vibe from not being too busy. And yeah, you got to find out what works for you. So, Dustin, should we go to Streamlabs and talk about this? What do you think?
Yeah. Do you want to share your screen for this one?
Okay, cool. So I'm going to start from scratch and go all the way through. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't expect you to join Ultra, but you can at least show them the basics.
Okay. So I'm going to, and again, this is why we started from scratch. I'm going to download the app, go through the process, and go from there. All right. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to sign up. So this is streamlabs.com. Let me put this in the chat if anyone wants to try that. I don't think I have an affiliate link on that one. I'm going to be honest with you. But let's sign up.
I might.
Put yours in. Hold on one second. So I'm going to set an email. I'm going to set a password in a second. I'm not showing people all of my information because people are trying to take my identity. Going to change that out. You know, one time, well, you know, sometimes we had to change some of the rules when we live stream. Like one person was like, yeah, tell your idea and what you would do. And someone said their idea and the domain name, and someone else in the chat bought the domain as the guy was talking about it. Didn't see that coming. So now we try to play it safe around here. Again, no personal information, but I was like, man, can't believe there's lurkers out there like that, taking people's ideas and domain names. I don't know if he ever sold it back to the guy, the name, or the domain name that he bought, but I thought that was interesting. Real quick, I'm just I'm getting a ID verification code via email to make sure it's me as I'm creating this account. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, they're
Just
pretty
to put that
good
in.
about security, it seems like. Streamlabs is also interesting too, folks. Like while OBS seems complicated, you have a lot of options that you can do with it. Using stream elements or own.gg, you can create your own really cool in-depth stream, adding in different overlays and backgrounds and transition screens. You can do some crazy stuff with some of these plugins that you can do. And OBS gives you the freedom to choose which ones that you want. Versus Streamlabs has it all kind of in one. They have overlays and stuff like that. And with the Ultra that you pay for the multi-streaming, you get access to their other tools too. And so I just wanted to mention that there are some benefits to having OBS because you get to choose what you use, but Streamlabs has it kind of all in one. They may have less options though.
Nice. No, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Also, too, doesn't is that your affiliate link, real quick?
Yes, it
Let me
is.
put it into the chat. Let me put this into the chat. We always like to support our guests and what we've got going on. So if you want to support, and make sure you check out Dustin's link to try this out. Okay. So we have this right here. It says we've helped millions of creators go live, and we're excited. Let's just do this. Let's do it. Okay. So connecting your channels. Let's connect. Let's just do Twitch real quick.
Doc Williams the first.
There we go.
And really, Streamlabs does make it. Oh, weird.
Hold on. Maybe it's thinking about its life. Bop, 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 bop. Interesting. Let's try this again.
It is weird. Normally, I don't have any issues with it.
Yeah, let me switch it out.
Because I connected a lot of my connections on there too. They have an actual page in their settings, so it looks different. I think this is just for the initial one. But essentially, you go in there, you can add in your Xbox, you can add in your Twitch and YouTube and TikTok. And again, they have a special partnership with TikTok that allows you to live stream from their app, which is really nice. So that way, like, you don't have to deal with TikTok's bureaucracy because they're really being weird about live stream keys.
Gotcha. Okay. So it looks like I connected. Okay. So basically, I connected one. I can go back later with it. Here,
I could also show my Streamlabs too that's already set up if you want.
Let's do it. I'm going to also click right here, download Streamlabs. That we can look at the app version or do that. Choose the best plan. Should I do Ultra right now to look at it or no? What are you thinking?
I don't think so because in the app, I can show you what it looks like. It's just you have the difference of you get 2 free platforms on the free plan. So if you want to just do YouTube and then YouTube Shorts or Twitch and TikTok, you can do that right off the bat. But it's just different. Let me see. I don't think I have any personal information on here per se. But let me see if I can share my screen. Go back to StreamYards, present. And so, yeah, it actually, mine looks pretty similar to yours, but I just want to show what it looks like for people who are set it up already. So you go on here, and it already has a lot of stuff going on. So very similar to what he just did. One of my last streams was about Resident Evil 3 a while back, but I did some other stuff outside of Streamlabs here. You even have tipping here, like on Buy Me a Coffee. So they have a lot of that stuff built in. You can even build a custom website onto here. It's not the greatest, but if you don't have anything, it's kind of nice to have just something basic, so to speak. And so I have my Twitch stream right there and whatnot. Let's go back. Come on, go back. And then the multi-stream setup here. And so you can start adding destinations. I don't know. Yeah, it's just trying to get you to download the app. So let's go into the app. I'm going a little too fast because look at this. So you go on to here and it'll show you all the different platforms you can add to it. You can there's an add destination down here, but I think because I'm not premium, it's not letting me do anymore. But let's go into the app. So just like with OBS, it can look very similar. It's a little bit more minimalist. You don't have as much stuff. And one thing we didn't talk about before, Doc, is the chat. Right? StreamYard has a combined chat here. I'm seeing the Twitch and the YouTube, so you can see everybody. However, that doesn't always show on the viewer side. Depending on how you set things up, you can have your stream chat from multiple different platforms show up on like the stream itself. So I already have it kind of set up here. I have my vertical camera as well. So I have a vertical output and the horizontal and different sources. So again, this is very similar to OBS. It's just very basic. Let's go down into the settings, multi-streaming, and that's weird. So you have to do the Ultra. Maybe we do have to do that. But essentially, you can set up all these different platforms here. You can even add another destination if you have the Ultra there too. So I already have pretty much all these set up for the most part. And so I can just go in and stream and then basically turn it on. When you hit go live, then you have to choose some of the platforms you want to do and basically have a option of like, hey, do you want to stream to YouTube or not? And one thing we haven't talked about either is YouTube Shorts. So if you want to do horizontal streaming, you can just do it pretty much automatically with YouTube. It already has the live studio set up. That's what we're doing right now, probably even as well. The live studio is already set up into YouTube, especially through StreamYard, so you don't have to worry about it. But if we were to do this with vertical involved, and regardless of what tools you use, when you want to do a vertical stream to Shorts, you have to set up a separate YouTube stream key for the Shorts. And the one thing that's really frustrating right now, Doc, is that you have to do that every single time you live stream for the vertical on there. And that's something I wanted to mention to everybody here because that can be tedious. I still think it's worth it because having that vertical and horizontal live stream at once, that's powerful. And like I was going through Shorts one day and I saw these gamers streaming to vertical and I'm like, wait a minute, I know this streamer. He has to be doing horizontal too because he normally does horizontal. Go over to his channel and he's doing both. And that's essentially what you have to do. Regardless of which tool you use, you have to still go into YouTube and tell it, hey, here's a separate stream.
I love it. I love it. Let us know in the comment section. We've gone through a lot of these different things, right? We're talking about a lot of things quickly.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Let us know because a lot of times, again, you have to decide what tech stack is right for you. Where do you want to go with this? All of those things. And if you feel like, whoa, this is still too much. I want to see more step by step. Let us know. We can create more things around this. But really, this is for you. So
just as an introduction.
Yeah,
right?
It's just an introduction to talk about what's possible, why you should do it, all of those things. And again, also, I think we're pretty passionate about this as well. So sometimes we might go a little bit faster with this, but that's what's necessary. If you don't mind, what I'm going to do real quick is stop screen. I'm going to present, and I'm going to do a window, and I'm going to share as I'm just going through the Streamlabs setup process, right? So I just granted permissions, microphone and webcam, right? It mentions welcome to Streamlabs. How do you want to use Streamlabs desktop? I think I should.
It really doesn't matter which one. Live streaming is probably better just because it'll do basically it's doing is choosing the bandwidth essentially in the background and stuff like that. So
I also like how it says what type of creator are you? Like beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So the beginner, I want to be guided step by step. This helps you a lot too, right here. So
hold your head a lot more.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go with intermediate, maybe. I'll go with beginner just to see what it looks like. Probably just a lot more prompting. We're going to continue. It's going to say log in. I'm going to be logging in. Let's see. It says so. Log in with Streamlabs ID. I wonder if it really matters.
It doesn't really. I think it just makes you an account if you like log in with Twitch. Or sometimes I have like forgotten my Streamlabs ID, and so I log in with Twitch, and it'll automatically log into that. So it's kind of helpful in that case.
Gotcha. Okay. I just logged in right here. It says open the desktop version. So maybe real quick, so I went in online. I logged in. Maybe I'll have to quit and come right back probably.
Or you could skip it and see. I think you could probably do. Well.
Oh, I'm impulsive. Let me come right back. Yeah, probably if I skipped it.
Because we could show you the page with, like I showed you earlier, about all the different options.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, that's a good option too. Let's see.
So again, Streamlabs holds your hand a little bit more, but they do give you less like options. Okay, so this make you start over.
Let's see. I'm just gonna skip it. Let me just log in. I wonder why. Huh. Okay, so we have the camera right here, webcam. So I'm using my Sony ZV-10. It wants to add an overlay. That's cool. So it's already doing a lot of the work for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just, I like the neon theme. I like that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Install that bad boy. And basically an overlay is just going to give a little bit of personality to your stream.
And here's the upsell.
Yeah, so automatically they want me to go to Ultra.
I wonder if you picked a Pro overlay or something like that.
Yeah. Tips to run your first stream. So this again is telling you, okay, what do you need to do? Look at our start guide, all of those things. Okay, and then we're in. So right there, as you can see, now we're ready if we want to start bringing in all of our different content. See my screen? Then I'm my camera. Yeah, what's up?
We got to turn on the vertical one. So if you click the settings, we can turn on the vertical canvas too.
Okay. So we go to settings right here. It's thinking about its life. Oh, you know what?
It's because you're on Mac.
Yeah. Don't even start. Okay? I don't need this trash from you right now.
Meanwhile, I got a mini PC over here that's Windows, but it's still chugging along.
We're not going to talk about this right now. We have the settings right here.
I think it's, I have to remember which one. No, go to output. Okay. And then there should be a checkbox for try to go up to the top, please. And then simple, advanced. No? Okay, that's weird. Let's see. I haven't done this in a hot minute.
No worries.
So there should be a checkbox somewhere that says turn on vertical. So it might be general or stream or something like that.
Okay, hold on. Let's go to general. Automatically start replay buffer when streaming.
No.
Okay, let's
video
look
or advanced or no?
Yeah, look at video.
There we go. Top one there. Enable dual output.
There you go. There we go. Please log in to enable dual out. Oh my goodness. Okay,
Come on,
see.
Doc.
This is killing me slowly. This is just killing me slowly. And as you can tell right here, as I'm like, I'm telling you in real time how I feel about this, right?
So even Streamlabs is not simple.
You know what that makes me upset though? Because this should be already pretty easy.
I will say I didn't have as much issues with it, so maybe it is like a Mac thing versus a Windows thing. Because on Windows, I didn't really have any issues with logging in.
Please safely. So this is the thing. I will say this. Sometimes don't just make it a PC Mac thing, but it could be. It could be. No, honestly, because Streamlabs, I have seen, not all the time is it so friendly with Mac. And this is good to know. Let's see about this. Oh my goodness. Let's see if we can do this.
So there's one multi-streaming tool that we forgot to mention.
Yeah.
And this goes back to the whole Mac versus Windows thing. There's an app that's not on Windows, but it is on Mac, Ecamm.
Yes.
And it multi-streams too.
Yeah. Wait, it does vertical too?
I don't think it does vertical, no. But the fact that it multi-streams is a thing. Because not everyone might, like, as much as I might be pushing for people to be doing vertical and horizontal, especially since I definitely tell it's the trend that's happening more and more. And I think podcasters are going to really benefit from it too once they start doing it more. I understand that not everyone's going to be using the vertical plugins right now because obviously with Streamlabs, it can still be a little bit complicated with YouTube Shorts, just like OBS. Both of them, you still have to create a separate stream key for vertical shorts, video live streaming. And then TikTok, you can only really do it through TikTok Live Studio or through Streamlabs. And then you have Instagram, which is simple, but still, there's still some complexity right now that's going to get simpler over time, but not everyone's going to do it. So if you can multi-stream at least to every horizontal platform, that's still a big deal.
Yeah. Yep. I am. See, cancel. Look at this. It should now. Let's see.
Still struggling over there?
Yeah. Well, because it's saying, okay, it's saying that I'm signed in, which is a beautiful thing. But now it's asking me to connect everything, which kind of confuses me.
At least, do you
because
have at least one connected?
I'm going through it right now. It's coming through. Okay. Look at this. See, this is, I will just point it out as I'm bringing this back. Even when it's trying to sync right now, hold on one second. It's like, hey, because I've already connected it once. Then when I did it again, it said, hey, do you want to connect to YouTube? I do, and my authorization says, bro, Streamlabs already has access to it. Like, continue.
Maybe you need to close and open it back up too.
No, but then I said continue, and then everything just synced right there. So it made me do it twice. Although, again, nuance. Maybe I'm having too much of a pet peeve with it. But I feel like if I'm gonna go pro, I want that to be easier for the onboarding. But that's just me.
And perhaps I think the ADM multi-stream, I mean, I didn't set it up fully when I did the sharing screen earlier, but essentially it should be a lot pretty simple too on ADM. Essentially, in both cases, you're just adding the different links. It should just work. Streamlabs should just be like, hey, here, added these different platforms. You don't have to worry about it. But Streamlabs is giving you a hard time. Theoretically, that can happen with OBS, but yeah.
And it did it the same exact thing again. So it already showed that I was logged in. I'm logged in all of these things. I'll do this offline and see what happens. But this is some of the things why we talk about this, showing this live. Some of these nuances, some of these things that could be going on. I will be sending Streamlab a ticket about this. But if you're using an app like this, it should already be syncing like nonstop. And that's another reason why I do a lot of things that are browser-based and not with applications, because I feel that browser-based, yes, you have to worry about cloud and sometimes bandwidth when you're streaming. It's a lot simpler than doing a lot of these applications that are native and things like that. So again, you're seeing some of the things as we're doing it live and setting it up. But
conversely, I have kind of a different take on this, Doc. First off, I also logged into all my platforms in Streamlabs on the website. So I showed you guys earlier the page where I had all my platforms on there. That's where I did it, essentially, when I added most of the platforms. I think I added one or two in the app, but for the most part, I did it through the settings on the site. However, that was more so just so I could log in, not so much for the multi-streaming. But again, that transfers over. But I have had so much issues with web-based apps. Like Riverside has been hell for me in the last year or two. Like I had one guest, even though she had better internet than me, it took her 56 hours for her to upload her half of the show, right? And so web-based tools, and like Wave Room is a new recording studio software, not live streaming, just for interviews. I actually lost my first interview because of that tool, because it crashed so many times and had so many glaring user interface issues. And Podcastle had an issue where it sounded like a robot the whole time. So it's like all these different cloud-based tools, even though Riverside's like the oldest, really, for the most part. StreamYard's pretty old too. They all kind of have those issues every once in a while. Whereas with OBS, I've had some issues setting it up, and there was a couple issues recording it when I first got started, but that was partially because I didn't set it up correctly, which is a warning to everybody else. Like, make sure you watch some videos to set it up. But once you watch a couple Harris Heller videos or Epos Fox or Doc Williams videos, then you're going to be able to find an easy way to get it set up. That's really what I was going to go for.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So I'm going to look at this. I'm going to see what's going on with this. And then we're going to come back and have an analysis and all those things. My guess is once I do dual, then I'll be able to see the option of horizontal and vertical. Then I will be able to add YouTube YouTube Shorts, and then being able to do that and then go live. That's my assumption. We'll try this. I have to enable a TikTok account because I do not have TikTok on.
That's crazy.
I know. I've been fighting it for a very long time. So we're gonna try that, and Then we'll come back and talk about what we've gone from here. And again, we've looked at options, why we chose different ones, how to get started. Anything else, let us know in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to tell people how long you've been on TikTok?
Yeah, you're trying to be a fogey and stay off of TikTok. Meanwhile, I've been on there since it was Musical.ly back in 2018.
Yeah. Polar opposites right here, as you can tell.
You gotta adopt the new platforms, man.
I just don't care.
I've probably made 7,000 TikToks at this point.
Oh my goodness, ridiculous. So let us know in the comment section if this is helpful. If you want to see more detailed version, we'll do a summary setup of as we set everything up and what the final product looks like as we're doing it, all those things. But again, this is the very first step into your introduction to multi-streaming and why you should do it and all those things. Dustin, before we go, anything else that you would like to say to the good people?
So we shared a link at the beginning about why you should be doing multi-streaming. It's a blog post I wrote out about these two different tools. I'm hoping that there's one more tool that came out recently. Most people don't know about it. It's called Meld Studio. And they told me on Twitter that they're working on multi-streaming. I'm not sure they'll have vertical or not. It might just be another restream. But essentially, it is a great tool for beginners if you can get access to it. It's in beta right now. It's basically like OBS and Streamlabs, but simpler. And they even have a lot of things like transitions and overlays built into the app. So the cool thing about Streamlabs is that they have a lot of that overlays and all those different features built in. Meld Studio has even different take on that. And there's a lot of, if you want to have a really powerful stream with like OBS, you have to have a lot of plugins. Streamlabs, you have to have a lot of different things going on too. Meld Studio automates some of it. So I just wanted to mention it.
I love it. I love it. So again, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, guys.
And again, if you have more questions, if you like content like this, if you want to see more about this, please let us know. We're going to be doing this in the future. And again, make sure if you like this channel, like and subscribe. We do this every single week, and we'll see you in the next live stream. Take care, everybody. See you.